Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Nut Close Show. As always, Scott Carson here. Excited to be with you today. Today's topic is something I wanted just to talk about, where I see people making a lot of errors online. Now, I know everybody is out there making offers on assets. They're getting stuff in. They're getting counters back, or they're submitting stuff out to get a number back on stuff, and they're looking to raise capital because they may not have enough funds themselves or have enough private investors to make something happen. So what I wanted to talk about today is the errors I see people making when they're posting on Facebook or other places looking for capital partners. First and foremost, take a little time and work through the deal. Work through the numbers. Make sure the numbers work before you just throw something up online. I see people throw some stuff up online and the numbers don't make any sense. They don't have the right values. The return on investment is different than the IRR or the interest rate. Somebody just posted that the return on investment was a 9% return on investment. That doesn't make any sense if you're looking for a joint venture partner. When it should have been like 17.8. They didn't have the math right. So let's first start with some basics, okay? Before I go down that path on this episode. First and foremost, if you're going to post a flyer or make a posting on some sort of social media, make sure you've got some bam to it. You got some, something that's going to literally draw people in. And first and foremost, don't throw a map up of the assets if you're, bidding on 4 or 5. Look, I love that people post them making offers on 20 assets, or I'm making an offer on 40, and here's a map. That's great. That's phenomenal. But when it comes down to literally talking about the individual deals that you're working on, a map is ineffective. It's more theory than it is actually a nugget of stuff. And if you're wanting to deal with investors or raise capital from people, you got to have something solid for them to look at. Not theory, have something solid that they can look at. Real numbers, real assets, real addresses. So quit with the maps when you're looking for funding on a deal or two and start putting photos of the property up. Take that little extra 5% we talk about, the little extra bit, pull a street view from a property, call a realtor, have somebody drive by the asset. Heck, if you can, drive out and take a good photo of the property, okay? A photo is better than a street view, and a street view is better than a map, and a map is better than nothing, okay? But what I would do is literally, if you wanted to, if you had 5 all across the area, 3 or 4, okay, take a second and post, you take that map and post little street view photos of the asset. Or I would just literally go back, if you've got 3 or more than 1 asset you're working through, just take the time to create a different flyer for each asset. Okay, that's the first thing. A good photo of the property. We're not talking, you don't want to see Google Street Maps or stuff like old pictures. If it's an old photo, you got to be very careful about it. What I mean by older, more than a year old. A street view photo is more than a year old. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, and do yourself a favor. Don't cut the house off where only the house shows. You want to have a little bit of sky. You want to have a little bit of yard. If you can show that the neighbor houses aren't burnouts or something like that, that's okay too. All right, but make it a desirable looking photo. Screenshot it. Adjust your street view map, your face, wherever your little guy is that you're toggling in for a street view with Google Maps. Take the second to do that. Now, also, just look for other photos. Do a search for images on Google for the property. You'll often find a previous listing. You'll often find sometimes previous interior photos of the asset where it was listed for sale or rent at some point. That has helped us dramatically. You may find photos online if it's a condo and other places. All right. So those are some things to keep in mind there. Looking for photos. You may even want to jump over and use Bing. Bing often has some nicer looking updated photos. Good morning, Laura. We see people out here join us in this morning. It's awesome. So take the time, find some good photos. All right. Pay a realtor $50 to go drive. It's well worth it. It's well worth it to do it to make sure that adds the pop to it. If you can have more than 1 or 2 photos, inside photos or something like that, or to link to other things, that helps out dramatically. So let's also talk about what you want. All right. You need to know taxes. Obviously, checking taxes are paid or up to date. You need to know if it's a performer or non-performer. What's the payment rates? All right. And then also, I would jump on Rent-O-Meter and pull a rent rate. Okay. That's important to do that as well. Morning, Jim McWillen. So what you want to do before you really post an asset, take the time to pull together a full, deal scenario. Here's the rent rates. If you find out that it's a bankruptcy, take a second, jump on Pacer and download the bankruptcy file, whether it's a Chapter 7 or 13. Take the time to download that so you can see if there's a plan filed on what the payment could be. Because if the existing principal and interest payment is $300 a month, but the bankruptcy plan is $800 or $500 or $200, there's some big differences in what they're offering, okay? So take the time and let's keep it simple. If you put more different photos or different segments to the things, it gets confusing. So you don't want your flyer to be too busy. That's confusing. So I like a photo on a white sheet of paper, maybe your logo across the top. That's about it. Maybe your contact information at the bottom, but keep it simple. The fancier this thing is, the more difficult it can be over time, okay? Details of the property. And you know what? You don't need to create an extra space. 3, 2, 1,200 square foot is perfect. You don't need to have three bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,200 square foot. Just keep those simple. Those are simple information pieces that you can put into one little line or 2 lines. Don't make it 4 lines. Don't fill space in just because you need to fill space. All right. And also, if you're doing it on a PowerPoint slide, which a lot of people are using, that's nothing wrong with it. All PowerPoint slides are a great way to kind of organize, especially if you're going to do a lunch and learn or something like that out to your database afterwards. Keep the font at least 30 points, 30-point font, 5 or 6 bullet points. It's okay to have 1 or 2 slides as well. So talk about, existing amount. You may want to throw total payoff in there. Last payment made is a good point for non-performing notes or contract for deeds. Listed if it's a contract for deed or a first lien. Last payment made, payment amount, maybe if they've made some payments in the last 12 months, show that in there. That's owner occupied, power's on. Those are all simple things that you would do anyway. Your due diligence, you might as well provide that a little bit on that. Power's on. Last payment made was 4 months ago. We think it's our primary strategy to get it reperformed. If it doesn't reperform, we know we're going to foreclose or deed in lieu in some sort of fashion. Okay. But the biggest thing is if the interest rate is at 9 or 8 or 7, share that information, the details. That is not your ROI though. If you're looking to reinstate, an easy thing to look at roughly would be, okay, 12 months P&I divided by a purchase price. That equals your return on investment, your high-end return on investment before expenses. Okay. So that's an important thing. Make sure you have your numbers accurate. All right, if it's going to foreclose, talk about foreclosure. It's worth 50. It's going to take us $4,000 to foreclose. We're going to sell it at 85. 80% of value, leaves a little bit of cushion factor there for repairs or other things. Got to pay taxes. Taxes owed. If there's back tax, you want to put that in there. But keep it simple. Don't be afraid to put a couple lines down. Keep the nice photo. You can always shrink the photo down a little bit or expand it as you need to. And have that other information, rent rates. Literally, I've taken screenshots of the rental meter and thrown that in there on a page. I've pulled, if you've got comps coming from a realtor, you could literally get that box, literally, if it's on a PDF or print screen it to a PDF, save that so it shows comps days on market. That's a very powerful thing as well. So never, ever, ever say guaranteed rate, okay? You may want to say estimated return on investment. Don't say actual ROI. Say, looking for funding partners, looking for help. I would not say looking for private investors, looking for funding partners. It's fine, but don't say guaranteed. Don't say safe. Those are things you never say. You may want to put a disclosure. This is in real estate at the bottom in fine print or a little dot. Those are some things that help with your flyers. But literally everybody, I see people out there putting crappy photos. They put something that just is too scrunched in. The property doesn't look good. Look, take that. They can do a little bit extra 5% on your flyers. And if you need to, have somebody look at it before you post it. A lot of people are posting stuff and nobody's ever looking at it, and there's blatant errors on the postings. And so hey, shoot me a message. Show me a message on Facebook. Hey, can you take a look at this, Scott, before I post it? Yeah, glad to. Who wouldn't be glad to help out? We can save a lot of time, a lot of space for people if they just reach out and, hey, take a look at this for me, or somebody else. Those are the important things to keep in mind. So I want to open it up for those that are watching on Facebook Live out there. If you have any questions or comments about any of the flyers that you think about posting or things like that. Now, A really great product to use, I should say a website to use to help you kind of spice up or help you clean up is Canva. Canva.com is a great website that you can import things in. You can make the fonts look really nice. It can help you adjust it. It can help you center the document or the wording. That's really, really important on there. Make it look nice. Take a second or two. I've seen some people take I know Laura's been doing this with some of her photos or images and importing in the photo of the property and fading it all the way back so it's a background image of the property. That's pretty cool looking. It's really kind of cool looking. We've done that in the past, and that's worked out pretty well. It adds a little bit of spice to it. Just share the information of what's going on in the asset. Look, hey, this is non-performer. We can pick it up at 25. Payments are $485 a month. They've made payments, 3 payments out of the last 6 months. We think it's going to be a reperformer, and go from there. Okay. Laura says, I was thinking of taking sample flyers to the expo. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a smart idea, actually, Laura, as you're out talking with people on some of the deals that you did. And actually, Laura, I think if you wouldn't mind, shoot me. I sent an email out this morning to the mastermind members. You're a mastermind member on some case studies that you've gotten some stuff modified or reinstated recently. So why don't you shoot me over and get rock and rolling? And Laura, Susan says, yes, Laura, that's a great idea. I agree. It's a great idea to take some sample flyers when you're out networking, whether it's to a networking event, a meetup group, an expo. Very, very good idea. I would totally agree to that. Just gives you an idea, a little extra added credibility as you're out talking with people. Hey, I got some deals. Here's some of the deals that we're working on. One of the things that we've done in the past is as we've gone out and been a vendor or a sponsored event, we had flyers. We had our executive summary on one side and just, some 9 pictures of assets we had just closed on. That's another sample. Just closed with the short numbers. Worth 50, pick it up at 12. Those are some of the things that would be really good to do if you're doing multiple deals, because there's a lot of people out there that are not doing deals, not pulling the trigger, which means you've got extra added value coming into a situation, coming into an event where you're doing deals, and you got some sample deals that you've done. Here's the type of deals that we're doing. Here's a couple deals that we're working on. All right. Those are some things that are extremely helpful for you. So good photos, clear information outlined on the asset, and know your numbers. Know your numbers. What's the wow? Is it that you're picking the asset up at 50% of value, or you pick it up at 40% of value, or that it's a 25% potential ROI? That's the thing you may want to put in there. Potential ROI. There's no guaranteed ROI in this business because we know case studies can come and go, or deals can have different twists and turns of the deal. So potential ROI is a safe thing. No guaranteed on return, but potential ROI on some things. So keep that in mind and look at what are you offering? Why is it attractive? If it's below a 20% return and you're splitting ROI with somebody where they're getting less than 10% return, that's not really a desirable deal. The better desirable deal that would maybe be to foreclose on the asset. But it's also, is it occupied or vacant? How far behind are they? Those are those are critical keys when you're looking at an asset. And when you're looking at a deal sheet, when I see stuff, I'm like, does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. All right. If it doesn't make sense, then don't post it. Kill the deal and move on. Don't do a skinny deal just to do a deal. I know some people get excited about wanting to pull a trigger before something happens, or they have, as we call it, OTSC syndrome. Okay. I'll post that on there. What does that mean? What does OTSC symbol mean? Here. Oh, that's so cute. Is what that stands for. Was what OTSC syndrome stands for. Okay. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. Don't fall in love. I've got to do that because it's such a cute little property. It's awesome. Don't fall for that trick of OTSC syndrome. Work on the numbers, but make sure the numbers make sense. And also, if it's share something that's be excitable. If the numbers don't excite you, it's not going to excite somebody else. Okay. If the numbers don't excite you, they're not going to excite somebody else. Okay. That's one of the biggest keys I could tell you guys out there when you're posting or marketing. Before you post a flyer, if it's not attractive to you, it's not attractive to somebody else. hey, picking up this asset, it's below 50% of market value, or it's in Florida, or it's in a nice area. You know, add a little bam to it, add a little spice to it. It goes a long way in helping you raise capital for things. Questions, comments, concerns from anybody out there? I know that we've got a very busy week. We're 1 week out from the Note Mastermind taking place, just over a week out from the Quest Expo. Two big back-to-back events. Just excited. We're at just a little bit over capacity, I think. We always try to plan on having a little bit more than the room can hold because people always end up kind of flaking off. Let me rephrase that. Flaking off is a very, very bad term. That's what I mean. Life happens. Something happens. They miss a flight. Flight gets canceled. Family situation. Last mastermind, we had 3 or 4 people that experienced deaths in the family. We had some people that are on summer vacations or wrapping up some stuff that they're out of state or out of country. Can't make it to, which is fine. But what I'm trying to get at, we're excited. We've got a great lineup coming, great people, great mastermind members. We've got a few sneak peek tickets that we've had, really, really jacked up. We're going to squeeze a lot into the 2-day mastermind, and then we're also going to squeeze a lot out of the Quest Expo as well. It reminds me, I got to work my presentation for the Quest Expo this week, this weekend. But Clifton Salas says, thanks for the tips. We'll be making changes. Not a problem, brother, man. Glad to help out. Just want you to, we don't want anybody to do something that's going to shoot them in the foot. We want you to help. And one of the big things, we're always, like I said before, we're always glad to help out. We always want you to succeed. We want you to save you face. I don't want you to make mistakes that are going to shoot you in the foot. We want to help overcome those and help you get more deals closed, more funding in, and more money in your pockets. More money, right, everybody? Yeah, exactly. Let's put some more money out there. All right. That's definitely an important thing. So it literally, if you're taking some flyers, Laura Blunk, you may want to take some flyers down to the San Antonio real estate investor meetup on Monday night with Propelio. You might want to work to get some of those. Also, here's a little thing when it comes to flyers. Okay? When it comes to flyers, there's 2 sides to the page. There's 2 sides to the page, okay? A lot of times that other side is one of the least utilized aspects up there. And I know it's harder to do that sometimes when you're last minute speaking or last minute going to an event. Catherine, we're glad to have you coming in from Chicago. Susie, you're coming all the way from the DFW area. Glad to have you there as well. But when you go to an event, there's 2 sides of that page. Okay? If you're going to print 2 different copies of different things, you might want to just print them on front and back because FedEx Office can do that for you. Okay? Front and back. Put it on one side and the other side. And that way you've got less paper to carry in and you've got one flyer that covers both things. That's a little trip because literally, let's face it, paper is heavy. You're dragging a box around of flyers. Last thing you want to do is a double flyer. So if you can consolidate that into one page, it's so much easier. And then it also it's easy to just kind of put out on your page or just literally hand to people out there. So once again, always too, if you're going to put a flyer, make sure you have your contact information on the bottom somewhere or at the top or somewhere where they can get a hold of you. Last thing you want to do is give a flyer out and not have your contact information. And here's one thing that's kind of funny. Somebody went and did the trouble of mailing out mailers to IRA investors on some sample deals. And they used the sample deals that we've provided at a workshop before, and they didn't remove my logo or my contact information. They just went and sent it out as is. And I'm like, wow, because the phone started ringing. People were getting the letters, and they were calling to invest with me, not with the person that mailed them out. All right. Not a fun thing is all. Cody Cox, yes, but sir, glad to see you. We'll see you Wednesday afternoon. Hey, shoot me an email, Mr. Cody Cox. I think you've got some deals you've worked through and completed here or in the process here over the last 12 months. So why don't you drop me an email? Let's go through some of your case studies at the fast track, okay? Brady Durr says here, I got a JV. I got a JV because you're said have a flyer on the deal. I don't understand. That's JV deal because you have a flyer of the deal, your executive summary, and vendor list. So that you had those 3 things together is how you got a JV partner. I think Brady is what you're saying, which is good. Flyer on the deal, executive summary, and a vendor list of people that are working with. Those are really some sample things. That's great. That's an easy thing. Flyer in the deal, a little, you could do a half-page executive summary and say, and the image of some of your vendors below. That's a really cool little marketing piece. That's going to be a very easy 1-page, 2-page front and back sheet that you carry with you to the events. So good. Congratulations, Brady. Glad to hear that. You got a JV partner. That's awesome, man. So, but anyway, going back, guys, once again, if you're going to be posting something on some social media, have somebody take a look at it. Make sure you're not violating anything first. Make sure you have somebody take a look at it. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it's not confusing. I know it's easy to start getting into posting things. Oh, it looks fancy. I have all my different colors on there. But sometimes if you've got stuff if you end up having too much colors, make 2 blocks, too much information gets smushed down, you probably need to remove it or consolidate some of it to make it cleaner. Because like I said before, a confused mind is a mind that says no. And if your graphics look horrible, if it's pixelated, take the time, come back, relook at them, maybe recalibrate your pixels or recalibrate the photo so it looks clean. Last thing you want to do is send something out that looks like crap. All right? So Laura Blanc like Brady Durr's idea. Yep, good idea. Completely great idea. So one of the great things about the upcoming Note Masterminds, we're going to have a big chunk of vendors coming in just to hang out. Just to hang out for a couple of days with our mastermind group. We've got Joel Markovitz. We've got Daniel Singer. We've got Shantae Duffy. We got Dickie Baldwin. We got Franco Baril. There's somebody else, Brett Bousquet, Lee Morgan. Hang on, I'm pulling up the list here. Boom, shakalaka. I'm excited. We got a couple other people coming in just to hang out. We got our buddy Jason Bibles coming up to hang out with us at the Note Mastermind. We got Mike Jordan joining us from Detroit, Michigan to come in. Both guys, great investors, bigger shops. Jordan's been we've had him on here before as a guest. He's coming to hang out with us. Excited about that. And then just some great people going to be joining us as well. We're just really excited about all the people we've got coming in for this Note Mastermind. So yeah, we're sitting at right at 60 plus. So anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of the Note Closer Show. Hopefully this is helpful. Like I said, if you have a flyer getting ready to post or a deal, feel free to email it to scott@weclosenotes.com. Email it to us. Send us a message on Facebook with it attached, and we can take a look at it. Try to get to it as earliest as we can to help you. I know that many people are like, oh, I got a flyer, I want to post it. And you're often quick on the draw to get it posted without really looking at it. And trust me, the last thing you want to do is burn a bridge or post something that looks bad. And trust me, we all make mistakes. I am not mistake-free. We make mistakes in posting like, oh, there's a spelling error, or we forget the address. That happens, or our numbers get miscalculated. We've done that in a webinar too before. So don't feel embarrassed about it. Best thing I can tell you is you learn from your mistakes, and you'll learn more by making more mistakes. Okay, that's the fastest way to get to find success. Is the more mistakes you make, the faster you make them, the faster you correct them, and the more you learn from your mistakes means the faster you and closer you'll be to success. So with that, go out, make something happen, and we look forward to seeing you all at the top. Bye, everybody.